We begin in Bangladesh, where the government has shut down all public and private universities indefinitely. It's the reaction to student protests that have left 6 people dead and scores injured. The main university in the capital, Dhaka, was at the center of the violence.
They are relentless in their demands. Thousands of angry university students want an end to what they say are unfair hiring rules for government jobs. The students argue most of these prestigious jobs should be awarded on merit, not through a quota system that favors relatives of war veterans.
The grandchildren of freedom fighters shouldn't get a quota for jobs. That generation has already benefited from the system. We're not saying the quota system should be abolished. We're talking about reforming it.
As rallies intensified, the government deployed paramilitary forces to try to quell the protests. And violent clashes occurred between the protesters and other students supporting the government.
We were rallying, and suddenly members of the ruling party's student wing attacked us. Then we headed towards Vice-Chancellor's house. When we stopped there, they attacked us again from behind. They were hitting our heads in a targeted way.
Some pro-government students accused the demonstrators of vandalism. Hospitals are filled with hundreds of injured students. Some have lost their lives. The students know protesting is risky in a country that's tough on dissent, but they say it's their future that is at stake. Hundreds of thousands of new graduates will be competing for a small number of government jobs. Many see this as unfair as Bangladesh faces high unemployment, inflation, and a flailing economy.
We want a sensible reform of the quota system. I'm a student at the Dhaka University. If I don't get any job after 6 years of study, that will create suffering for me and my family. What will the government do then?
Following the protests, the Supreme Court paused its ruling on the recently reinstated quotas. But the students say they will not stop protesting until they are permanently removed.
Well, I'm joined now by journalist Fabiha Munir. She's an independent journalist based in Dhaka. It's good to have you with us. Can you tell us more about this quota system and why are people so angry about it?
You can see that 56% of government jobs in Bangladesh are reserved. So they are not open for general people. This is why students are angry, and this is why they are protesting. Because the students believe that this quota system is unfair and discriminate against meritorious candidates. So now, the protests against revival of civil service job quota system have continued for more than 2 weeks, and some of the protests have turned deadly.
And so if these jobs, if at least 50% of these jobs are reserved from the beginning, what does that mean then for new graduates in Bangladesh? What are their prospects for finding work?
You see, in Bangladesh, the unemployment rate among graduates has become a significant issue, with nearly 800,000 university graduates are unemployed as of 2022. So, there is a frustration because overall, the combination of a highly competitive job market, especially among the government job and non-governmental job, students are frustrated because of this unemployment and the recession. So they are trying to find a solution, and they are urging for a solution, because you can see that this 56% of this quota systems is resolving a majority of the jobs for designated groups.
Yeah, I'm wondering, what would a solution look like in your opinion? I mean, what's next now? An indefinite closure of the universities, that's certainly not something that is sustainable.
Students are demanding discussion with our government, and they do not want violence, definitely not. And now students are divided especially in 2 groups, and this is really frustrating. All the people in Bangladesh, especially the general people of Bangladesh, are worrying about this situation. And the government of Bangladesh, through Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, has urged the protesting students to end their demonstration and return to their studies. But because of the violence and the situation now on the field is severe, and the students are still protesting and demanding for a solution.
Journalist Fabiha Munir with the latest on the situation there in Bangladesh. We appreciate your reporting. Thank you.
Student protests in Bangladesh have turned violent, with at least 6 people killed and dozens injured in fighting between rival groups and police, calling for an end to what they say are discriminatory quotas for public service jobs. They say it favours supporters of the ruling party. Well, Tanvir Chowdhury has more now from Dhaka.
Student protesting from the Dhaka Medical University. We're on the outskirts of the Dhaka University campus. Now the protest is going on near the Language Martyrs Memorial. A large number of students have gathered here. There's also students gathered in many parts of the city in different intersections. They're not staying very long, but protesting and then leaving the area. There's been reports of violence in different parts of the country.
I feel that as a student, we should all take part in these protests. We are taking a risk, and all violence against protesters must stop immediately.
We will continue the movement, and now we have new demands. Aside from the abolishment of the quota system, we also want the withdrawal of comment by Sheikh Hasina and stopping all violence against us.
The students are saying they'll continue to protest. They're here to protest against the quota, as well as the government's heavy-handed tactics and the pro-government elements attacking them and the Dhaka University campus and other campuses across the country, which resulted in hundreds of injuries across the country. They say they'll continue to protest unless their demands are met, and they want justice as well for what happened yesterday in the Dhaka University campus and other parts of the country. Tanvir Chowdhury, Al Jazeera, Dhaka, Bangladesh.